with all due respect to all the CEOs out there, those of you who are not CEOs, come along with me in mocking CEOs. CEOs love to think they're empowering CEOs. Most CEOs that I talk to, they view themselves as empowering CEOs. CEOs love to give people responsibilities. Responsibilities. They're very good at this. They give people responsibility. Very good at this. You are responsible for this. And you are responsible for that. And you are the person, you're responsible for that third thing. The CEOs think they're very good at giving people authority. Authority. They think they give people authority to carry out the responsibility. Oh, yes, yes, you are authorized to spend. Just ask me first. You are authorized to make decisions. Just check with me first, though. Are they afraid to just hand over authority? You know why they're afraid to hand over authority? Because they can't hold people accountable. They're very bad at holding people accountable. They want to be friends. So they don't want to hold people accountable. They don't want to be the bad guy. And the reason they don't want to hold people accountable is because they don't make anything transparent. They hate to make things transparent. So I'm going to build this model up backwards. I'm going to start with transparency and build it back to authority and responsibility. Let me first tell you a story. I have a friend in Chicago. He lives downtown. He says, listen, rush hour traffic, let's not take a cab, let's take the train. It'd be much faster. So we buy a ticket, we put the ticket in the turnstile turns, we walk onto the platform, the train comes along, we get in the train. I asked my Chicago friend, say, what would happen if CTA, the Chicago Transit Authority that runs the trains, what would happen if CTA decides to take all those turnstiles out of the stations? Turnstiles gone, no more turnstiles. You still have to buy a ticket though, you still have to buy a ticket, but you don't put it in a turnstile. You just walk onto the platform, you get in the train. And by the way, I said to my friend, no inspectors. In fact, you have no obligation to show your ticket to anybody. I asked my friend, Chicago native, I said, what percentage of the riding public do you think would actually buy a ticket? He looks at me and he goes, in Chicago? He goes, 10%? I go, 10%? He goes, yeah, all your tourists would buy one, but that's about it. There's been some sociological studies done, and they've concluded that in the United States, it'll actually degenerate to a very small number. So I changed my story a little bit. It's a little hokey, this new story, but bear with me here. Let's say when you buy the ticket, your face glows red for the next 2 hours. You can tell who bought a ticket and who didn't. Think about it. What percentage of the riding public is now going to buy a ticket? You'll probably conclude that almost most of them would, if not all of them. What changed to take that number to go from a very small number to a very large number? Let me tell you what changed. Transparency. Transparency is the best form of accountability. You want to make things accountable? Make things transparent. As a CEO, all my career, I have objected to signing expense reports. Now, submit your expense report to accounting, accounting pays. All I ask is that you post your expense report on the outside wall of your office or cubicle. Tell me, how much hanky-panky stuff goes on in my company's expense reports? Let me drill home this with a few other examples. Stay in Chicago, windy city, downtown, tall buildings, cold weather, wind is blowing through wind tunnels. Two individuals, professionals, people like ourselves, dressed up, bundled up in winter clothing, show up at the front door of a tall building at the same time. Would one not hold that door open for the other? Of course they would. Same two individuals, 5 p.m., going home in their cars, tinted windows, heated leather seats, music of their choice playing, rush hour traffic, 2 lanes, merging into one. How do they behave? Will one let the other one in? No. What's the difference? In this harsh environment of the outdoors, bundled up, they could wait 3 seconds to let the other guy in. In this comfortable environment of their car, they could not wait 3 seconds to let the other guy in. What's the difference? Transparent environment, anonymous environment. The best of human beings transform their behavior when you move them from a transparent environment to an anonymous environment. Transparency, anonymity. You see, transparency is the best form of accountability. Just look at our own behavior, how it changes when we are forced to operate in a transparent environment. Transparency is the best form of accountability. When you create a transparent environment, you increase accountability. And when you increase accountability, you are more able and willing to give people unequivocal authority without conditions. Then they can then execute their responsibility. Your fear of empowerment is because you haven't made things transparent. Make things transparent, accountability will increase, you'd be more willing to give authority, people can execute their responsibility. Ask yourself, how empowering are you?